Hello, this is Dr. Stark, and I just wanted to come on and do a brief introduction to the course, kind of outlining how you can use D2L to find your way around, to navigate cases in finance, to meet your group members, submit assignments, and pretty much everything else for this semester because as you know, we are transitioning to online learning for this spring. And I will say the very good news is that this is a very self-taught class. When I teach it in the classroom, I do not actually lecture to the course. I answer individual questions according to what each group needs because everything that you need to solve every one of the cases in this semester, you've learned throughout your coursework before today. What the purpose of this course is simply to teach you how to independently or on your own solve complex problems using the knowledge that you gained while in the classroom. So with that, I'm just going to kind of dive into what is located on our D2L course platform. I will say right now, this is the course shell for Section 1. If you are in Section 2, everything looks the exact same, except when I get to the group setup, you might have a different number of students in your group because there are a different number of students in each class. But for the most part, everything else is exactly the same. So right here when you log in, this is the course home. And I do have this set to student view, so this is hopefully exactly what you see rather than the instructor view. Just a little bit of course information, but then cases introduction. The second note is how I think you should think about starting this course. Right? So we have a little introduction here, but what is important is how to begin this course. So first thing we're going to be looking at is finding your groups. Okay, so group introductions. I'm going to close these. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, it will tell you what group you're in. In fact, we've already got a few posts. This is going to be for your group, so if you're not in this group, you're not going to be able to have access to it, but you'll know which group you're in by looking at the course syllabus and the course group distributions. Okay, so all assignments, there's going to be a handful of them. We'll talk about those when we get into the syllabus, but they are always due 11:59 p.m. of the assigned day. So course schedule, here it is. On the 23rd, you have 2 assignments assigned to you. Connect with your group members. I just showed you how to do that. It's with a discussion board. After the discussion board, if you guys choose to communicate through email, through this discussion board, through Google, through Microsoft Teams, whatever you want, I don't care how you communicate. It's just going to be difficult to connect with your group outside the discussion board to start the course. But at that point, it's completely up to you as the group how best you guys want to work together. Okay, so case 1 is assigned. I'll show you where that is here shortly. Next day of this schedule, the 30th, it's due by 11:59 p.m. There's a drop box. Case 2 is assigned. Due a week later. Case 3 a week later, and so on. Finally, the only additional thing you need to do is a peer comment. And again, I'll talk about that when we get to the syllabus. But in short, the class is very well structured. Something is assigned, a week later it's due. Assigned, due. I will say that every assignment is currently uploaded. So if your group wants to work ahead, you're more than welcome to. All I would do is encourage you to not work beyond case 1 until you get some feedback. At least then you kind of have an idea of what I'm looking for beyond what's in the syllabus. If you were to submit all 5 cases in week 1, I suppose that might be possible, but that's going to be difficult because you're not going to know if you're doing the work the way that I'm looking for it. So once you get the feedback for case 1, I'd recommend if you want to work ahead, you're more than welcome to. The pace of the course is able to be sped up. It just can't really go much slower than what's outlined here. Okay, so back to the home page. All cases are available for purchase from the Harvard Business Publishing in one course pack. So what this means is you come here to Harvard Business, MTSU Case Study Stark, you're going to register, you're going to log in, you're going to buy the cases. There is no textbook. These cases cost somewhere around $4.50 a piece, so I think you're looking at $25 or so for the entire coursework. Okay, so some information about me. I already gave you my name, Dr. Jeffrey Stark. This link will just take you to the MTSU page if you need me. Class time and location, I think that's pretty obvious. We're online, so everything's going to be online. Office hours. feel free to email me. Discussion boards, we'll go through all the different ones and what each one is set up for, and emailed at jeff.stark@mtsu.edu. And again, here is another link just to get the what I call textbook, but there is no textbook again, it's just the cases that we're using for the course. All right, so moving on, under the content tab, just a brief interview, or an introduction, to the cases. If you click here, discussion for cases, this is where you're going to have a discussion board. You, as a student, can post your questions here. Other students, as you might have recalled from the syllabus, or from that first sheet, I said there's a peer, from the schedule, a peer comment. This is where that'll take place. Students are going to have questions. It is your job as students in this course to answer other questions. Okay, so when you have a question about case 1, post it here. Students, please take the opportunity to provide your answer, your feedback, your assistance when something is unknown. We can have more than one answer to a question. Lots of the things we do in this class, in fact, I think every case, there is no right answer. These are open-ended questions, as you'll see once you get into this. So there is not a right and wrong answer. What makes an answer correct is that you support it with well thought out reasoning. And so we can have different points of view on these cases, and that would require multiple posts, multiple questions asked, multiple questions answered. Coming back, case 1. Right, this is the course schedule I already showed you. Case 1, here's a brief overview of the case, as well as the case discussion area that I showed you above, but this is specific just to case 1. Case objectives. In this case, we're going to understand market efficiency, understand risk-adjusted measures of performance, and understand how individual investment decisions are made. If you click this, it will take you to the cases. Here's the information, Patino's Financial Advisors, some helpful hints, and then the questions for the case. What is the structure of Patino's Financial Advisors? What was its approach to financial planning, and how might this have affected its investment recommendations? Number 2, 3, and some additional considerations. So that is case 1. The same is available for case 2, 3, and so on. So that is our content tab. Okay, under assessments. Actually, let's go to overview first, sorry. You have seen the course schedule. Here's my email, and now it is the syllabus. So in this syllabus, information I've already given you is right here. We talked about this on the first page. I already talked about the course description and goals of the course. We're trying to bridge the gap between what you've learned in the classroom and how you apply it to making complex decisions. We're also trying to identify how, or learn how to work with groups, learn how to be self-reliant. When you get out into the workplace, your boss isn't going to tell you these are the exact steps you need to solve this problem. This is what you did wrong. This is what you did right at every intermediate step. This is something you're going to have to learn to do with your team. If your boss were to do that, what does he really need you for? He could just do the project himself. Okay, so as I mentioned, course grading, 5 cases and 1 peer comment. Your responsibility is to do that peer comment on the discussion board. Okay, moving down, case reports. Each group submits a single case report. This is not done by members. And what is important here is it is a 3-page maximum, not a minimum. It cannot be more than 3 pages. Anything more than 3 pages, and I will not grade what is beyond the 3rd page. The reason is we want to learn how to convey the main points of our write-up quickly, concisely, and make it so that anybody, not just somebody who has a finance background, can understand what the primary takeaways are. That being said, a cover sheet does not count. If you want to put the name of your group, if you want to put the name of the case, the date, things like that on a cover sheet, it does not count towards 3 pages. If you have references, does not count towards 3 pages. Put those on a separate sheet at the end. If you choose to submit Excel worksheets, submit those separately. They do not count towards your 3 pages. They are 3 pages of text. Beyond that, you are welcome to submit as much additional as you think is necessary. Okay, grading. I already mentioned this, but case write-ups, there's 5 of them, 10 points each, 50 points, 1 peer comment, 10 points, total of 60. You can calculate how many total points you've earned out of the 60, calculate what that percentage is, and that is how you get your grade. Okay, continuing on, just a bunch of generic stuff that is here. Because this is online, I've added some stuff for technical support if you have issues, phone numbers, email addresses, students with disability information, scholarship information, if you wish to have a grade appeal. Finally, here is another place that you can locate our course schedule in addition to up here. All right, this matches exactly what you would find there. The date cases are assigned, the date cases are due, and then your peer comment, which you do not have to wait until the end of the semester to do. It is due by the end of the semester. So make that comment whenever you need. And I encourage you to make more than one as people have questions and have issues that they need help with. Okay, Dropbox. Okay, so group 1. You will submit case 5, for example, right here. Group 3, case 2. It's very specific. Your peer comment is going to be done individually. Each person submits their own. For each Dropbox, find your corresponding group in the corresponding case and submit it before the due date. You know, due dates change to match what's in the syllabus and on the course schedule, so you can go ahead and do that. These do run through a plagiarism checker, and you do have access to that. So if you submit something, you realize that it's very high on the plagiarism checker, go in, make corrections, and resubmit it. You can submit as many times as you want. What I do is I grade the most recent submission. The last submission you make is the one I grade. Okay, under communication, we'll first start with discussions. There's a bunch of different things here. Within group discussions, you speak to your group and your group only. They are group section restricted, meaning only your group can post in it. However, if you have questions on the actual cases, this section, cases, is open to everybody. If you have a question about case 1, post your question in case 1. If you have a question about case 2, post it there. I'll be monitoring this. My hope and my goal and the way you guys can earn the highest grades in this class are if I don't have to post here. I'll only post if a question goes unanswered for quite a while. If nobody's helping that student with the question and I have to answer it, I'll do that. But that's not the idea here. The idea is that you guys are able to help each other, to learn from each other. Moving on, general class questions and issues. Cases in finance, right? That's our class. Any question about the class, the setup, feedback, anything that you don't understand, don't get, want to know more about, questions you have, post them here, I'll respond. Technical questions and issues. Having any issues that are related to the online section of this class or the online components, post those here. I'm not an expert on fixing them. I'll look over them. Some students might have answers. I can at least look into how to solve these problems. But post them here, and at least we can be aware of them and take them into consideration, seeing if there's ways to work around that. Okay, so back up to the top. Last up, under communications, I'll talk about where's groups. Okay, so here we go. Groups. There are a total of 15 students in this class. Each group has 5 with your 5 Dropboxes. You can email each other. You can see who's in the group. Right, here are the 5 people in the group. So you can figure out your group right here. Okay, so with that, we've kind of given a quick rundown of what the expectations are for cases in finance. I've kind of shown you where everything is located. My experience in this class is that students are a little bit nervous to start because I give very little instruction before the class begins. This is in person as well. But once they dive into the cases, once they work with their group members, they realize that they have all the information they need. They have all the skills they need, all the knowledge they need to answer these cases and to do very well with them. We do start with the easiest case, and we do work our way to the hardest case. So, when you do this first case, don't think that, wow, that was easy. This entire course I can blow off and just spend very little time doing things at the last minute. Each case we do does get more and more difficult, does take more and more skill, thought, teamwork, and effort from you guys. In fact, the first case, I don't even believe that you really need to do much with Excel. There's really no numbers for you to do any calculating with. There's numbers in the case to look at. Whereas at the last one, we have to write up and come up with entire valuations of companies. So it does build, it does progress from easy to hard, but overall, my experience with this class is that students are prepared for it. They're able to do everything that's required, and with a little bit of effort from you guys and definitely some teamwork and some communication, students do really well. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me through email, but more importantly, reach out in the discussion boards, because that is where other students are able to see the answers to your questions. If you have a question about something, it's likely someone else does as well. So with that, thank you, and I look forward to a great semester.